Hello baseball family, Matthew here again with another episode of the British Baseball Podcast. And before we start today's conversation, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, or if you're watching on YouTube, if you do me a favour and just click that follow and subscribe button, it would really help get your stories into other ears and also help spread the word about British baseball via those magical powers of algorithms or whatever it is. But that's enough for the little self-promotion. Today we're here to talk about one person. It's Mr. Ron Blackwood. Ron, how are we?
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well, cheers, mate. I've again, for some reason, this has become the hottest house in the world, and I don't know why. Got the windows open. I'm trying to wear as relaxed and less clingy clothing as possible. And I see that you're decked up. You don't happen to be a Mets fan, would you? By any chance?
Oh yeah.
For those that are listening along, Ron is sporting this beautiful blue Mets hat and blue Mets t-shirt. You got Mets shorts on? Don't need to pan down.
No, probably not. I was going to put the old, regalia on, but I thought, nah, that's a bit overboard. So no.
But if you're an umpire, I expect you to come in full kit.
Well, when I do umpire, I do my best.
There you go. Ron, we're here today to talk about you and your journey throughout British baseball. So a big shout out goes to Saeed, who said that, you're one of the people that I should definitely talk to within British baseball because you've got loads of stories. So no pressure. We're after some entertaining tidbits today. And if anyone's listening out there and you think you want to get one of your teammates on and share their stories, just get in touch with me through the usual routes. I'm on Facebook and the British Baseball Podcast. You can just drop me an email, britishbaseballpodcast@gmail.com. So without any further dribble from me, Ron, can I have from you two baseball truths and a lie?
Okay. I, believe it or not, was a San Diego Padres fan because I was living in California when I was living in the States before I was a Mets fan. That's number one. I've met Joe Morgan, Stan Musial, and Brooks Robinson on my travels, Baseball Hall of Famers. And I got an autograph from someone where they hold the Oscars in LA, in the hall.
Right,
Oscars Hall. So I got an autograph from somebody in there.
I saw that it was really into movie making and films. I always thought the Oscars was on tour, like an all-star game. I didn't know it was held in one building all the time. That's crazy.
Well, when I lived in America from 1981 to 1996, so it was in LA.
Right. Okay.
Maybe different now. I don't really watch Oscars anymore now.
I'm going to go with the lie, being that you used to be a Padres fan.
No.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, you're spot on, mate. Spot on.
Oh, brilliant. I was going to say, because those other stories sound fantastic. So how did you meet those Hall of Famers?
I went to a baseball card show. I went to a lot of baseball card shows, to be fair. And certain Hall of Famers were there at the one time. The one when I went to in LA, there were a couple of Hall of Famers. I met Tony Gwynn, I met Eddie Murray, Darryl Strawberry was there. I met quite a few people up in there, and they were just upstairs, in that, wherever they have the Oscars in LA. Got my ticket, went in there, got the autographs, had a little chat with them, shook their hands, thank you very much, and on I went.
Who's the most interesting one that you spoke to?
Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
Streets apart, because he's a pundit. He was when I was there, he was doing the games, calling the games. So, and he had a lot of interesting things to say about the game as well. And he used to play for the Cincinnati Reds, part of the Big Red Machine. I don't know if you know about them, but and that gang, Pete Rose was there, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, David Perez, they were a gang. They were a gang, and I said, talking to him, it was just like, wow. I could have chatted to him for ages. So yeah, Joe Morgan, I'd say.
So what sort of things did you ask him, or did you talk about?
Well, first of all, I said, Joe, I like the way you call the games on TV, which I did, because like it made it more interesting for me as well, and it enlightened me because like I was just setting out on my baseball journey, I suppose. And I was just asking him about when he used to play because he was second baseman,
Hmm.
and just little tricks and stuff. I mean, I didn't really know too much about baseball then, to be honest with you, but I was intrigued, and like I say, each time I went to see somebody else, I'd ask them another question. I was talking to Saeed earlier on. You mentioned Saeed. Yeah, and I'd said about meeting Eddie Murray, and it was just before just when he started with the Mets. And like I said, I was in LA, and I said, Eddie, how do you think we're going to get on this season? Like I knew him, you know what I mean, Eddie. Yeah, how do you think we're going to get on? And he says, oh, so long as we stay healthy, we've got a chance. No, we didn't have a chance. But I was still a Mets fan.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
win, lose or draw.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So you went to this baseball card convention, and you just started off your baseball journey. Was it baseball cards that got you interested in baseball to start with, or no?
No. I joined the service. I moved to America, as I said, and I joined the US forces. And we were in Japan, and the World Series came on.
Hmm.
And I was bothering these guys because I know now, because like when I'm watching it, I don't want to be bothered. Right. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening here? And they're like, shh, wait till the game is finished and we'll talk to you. Right. So I waited. Good 3 hours. Right. But I waited. And then afterwards they said, "Oh, this is what's happened. These two are the best two teams, one for the American League, one for the National League, and they've come together to play the World Series. So they've had the best records, whatever. And they've finished up, and it's the main final." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, right." And they says, "Well, everybody picks a team, so you need to pick a team." Now this was back in 1985, and I was watching the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Mhm.
And I says, well, you know what? Because I've just come from New York, like, I didn't want to be a Yankees fan because like I didn't want to jump on any bandwagon. I says, I'm going to be a Mets fan. 1985. And guess what? In 1986, we won the World Series. We beat Boston. So it's all good. So
There
I've
you
been there for
go. Did you go
yeah.
to see any Mets games live when you're over there?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I went to the old Shea Stadium. I've not been to City Field yet because like I moved back to England, but I used to go to Shea Stadium when I was in New York, and then when I was living in California, I'd
Hmm.
go and see him at Dodger Stadium all the time. Nothing beats a Dodger dog, by the way. Dodger dogs are good, but that's all the LA Stadium's good for.
I'm sure some Dodgers fan listening to this now going, no, no, this.
I don't care about them. No, I'm just joking. I like to tease people, but no, it was great going up to Chavez Ravine. To be fair,
Yeah,
I went as many times as I could. Yeah, whenever
brilliant.
they were in town.
So I want to take you a bit further back in time if possible. What was young Ron Blackwood like? Were you always sporty and into different things like that?
Yes, and believe it or not, I mean it's not related, but it is related. When I was at primary school, my sister used to play rounders,
Hmm.
and I'd go and watch the girls playing rounders, and then I'm like, okay, can I play? Right, and they let me join in with their practices. Um, and then I just pestered the teachers for a boys rounders team, and we got a boys rounders team. We played a couple of games, so that was like I guess the start of what baseball could have been,
Yeah.
you know. And that was back when I was like 9 and 10. So, but I've always played football. I played football till I was about 55, and then well 53, sorry, and then took a couple of years off, and then discovered baseball.
Wow. So
To
you were like a 50-odd-year-old rookie.
Yes, I was rookie of the year that year.
Awesome.
55
Good
and a
man.
half at least.
It's all about that half.
But hey, it all counts. But
Yeah,
no,
damn right.
yeah, I started very late. one might say. But it's been a journey. It's been great. I've absolutely loved it.
So how come it took you so long to find baseball in Britain with you being such a passionate Mets fan?
Um, I didn't even know it existed. I'll be honest with you. In
Yeah.
Britain, I came back from America in '96. Then I went into teaching, and it's only through one of the recruiters that got me to come and work for him. And he's like, we were talking. He used to live in America. His dad was from America, so I think he did a lot of growing up over in America as well. And we were talking sports, and and then I'm telling him how his team is rubbish and the Mets are the best thing that's ever happened to anybody. And he's like, "Oh, you like baseball?" Then he says, "Oh, why don't you come down and play?" I was like, "Where?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just down in Harborne, on a Sunday morning." I'm like, "Really?" Didn't even know. So I turned up. Never played before. I've played 2 games of softball before. I even turned up with a softball mitt. They were like, "Not quite," but you know, and that was it. I went there, trained. I loved it. Um, and then I just started learning more and more because I'd never played. I'd only ever watched.
Yeah.
And when you're watching, you only watch what you want to see, if you know what I mean. And then when you're watching after you're a player, you can see the nuances,
Mm,
and you say,
mm.
"Oh yeah, I see what that is now." Da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and then when I went down, I made the squad, which I thought, oh, brilliant. And then the first game, I didn't come into the fourth innings, and then I went in the fourth, and then we played. I think we played 7 innings, and I played the rest of the season until the final because we made it to the national finals that first year, my team. And in the seventh innings, my back was killing me. I had to just take myself out.
Oh no.
Otherwise, I would have stayed in the whole time. But yeah, that was my first season, and like I said, luckily we did that well, you know,
Mm,
and we lost to Long Eaton in the final. But if anybody will tell you Long Eaton are a fantastic setup,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
you know, yeah. But yeah,
Real
it was brilliant, and like I said, from then we just like plodded on. Yeah, and here we are, still playing. 61.
good lad. Um, you moved to America when you were a teenager,
19, yeah.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a family move or was that
Yeah,
part of you going to the forces? Family.
we emigrated as a family in
Mm.
1981, the day before Princess Diane and Charles got married.
Oh,
Then,
yeah.
no, I didn't watch the wedding, by the way. Um,
Not even on the
um,
plane.
well, they no, they weren't on the plane. They should have been there before me. I would have thought, but no. But no, it's like no, went over there and it didn't really settle straight away. And then I went
Mm,
back and joined service, and then from there I learned a bit more about the American culture and the
mm,
sports. And that's when I picked up baseball in 1985.
yeah. Was it difficult for you to settle and to adapt to that changing lifestyle? Because I remember being a teenager and being quite awkward and gangly and just, it wasn't always the best of times. I suppose like you being at just the age, you're like, yes, I can go out and get a beer, and then you're yanked out of the UK and you got to wait another 3 years before we can get a drink in. But like, how
Um,
hard was it for you to adjust?
that drinking part was fine. It was no big deal. I mean, if I wanted a drink, I could have got a drink and just drank it at home, but I didn't really need to go out as such to clubs and stuff because that wasn't me really.
Mm,
And drinking over here when I was 18, I'd go to the pub, but it wasn't a session or anything like that. Just like
yeah,
pop out, have a drink, have a chat with my mates, whatever, catch up, and then walk back home, whatever. So it wasn't that part wasn't. I know, like these days, a lot of people think, oh, when I turn 18, I'm having a drink, da 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 da. It's a different world. So yeah, adjusting to life in America, because we moved to Crown Heights, and when I first moved there was a lot of segregation. And we went down the park, funnily enough, and they were like, "Well, what are you doing here? It's not your day." We're like, "What?" it's a park, you know. But that's how it was. And then people were playing softball, and we're like, "Can we have a game?" And they're like, "Well, you haven't got a mitt." And I'm like, "We play cricket, man. We don't need a mitt. What's wrong with you?" So they put us in the outfield, and we catch the ball and dash the ball back in. And they're like, "What? You know, don't that hurt?" I'm like, "No, you just got to know how to catch it, mate." But and that was it. You know, we'd have a couple of games over there, and then I played when I was working in this one company, the annual softball tournament, and I played 2 games of that, and that's the only time I swung the bat really before I came to England.
Mm. How weird was it? I know it's not a nice subject or anything, but like the whole segregation thing, I find it really disturbing that that's within my own lifetime. And I know I'm like in my 40s now, but I still feel like it's when you hear about stuff, it should have been years ago, but it's just painful to hear how recent it was. I mean, like,
That was when I was 18. Like I said, and you know that's the 80s. That just over in England, the race relations and the the racial acts came through in about 74, I think. Um, so I guess people were just trying to get used to it, so sort of trying to adapt things. But like I said, it wasn't great. And like I said, I mean, I had some experience with black folk, you
mm.
know, and because I spoke a different way, they were a bit, you know, oh, you know, what this is a black guy. What's wrong with it? You know, so there was like, you know, a bit of animosity all over the place, really. But you know,
Crikey.
it's one of those. It was all part of growing up and moving on and you know and living and life, you know, and you just deal with things certain ways. And like I said, I've always taught my kids, you know, you can talk and walk away, and that's what I tried to do, you know. So you know,
That's
so
really good advice.
I didn't really get caught up in stuff. And anybody that knows me, you know, around baseball, around any sports, they know I'm a bit chippy, but you know, um, there's no malice, there's no teeth, you know, and there never has been. And never anything I've ever done, I've always said, let your sports do the talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. When did you move back to the UK? You say
1996.
96.
Mm-hmm.
And was that a family move or was that like part of
No,
the,
well,
so,
I just got married, I suppose, not just about 12 years or so. I just got married, whatever,
yeah.
and and we wanted to start a family over here. So technically, it was a family move, but it was just me. My dad's still over there. Excuse me, my 2 sisters are still over there, and my other 2 brothers are over here with us. So we all came back. We three brothers came back. 2 sisters
Interesting.
stayed.
Yeah. So on to bring us back now towards the present
Yeah.
with your time playing with Birmingham Baseball Club. And you've been there throughout the Outlaws, the Bandits, and now the Metalheads. What are
Mm-hmm.
some of your favourite stories from playing baseball with Birmingham Baseball Club?
Ah, favorite story.
Or stories plural? I've been told you got some good ones.
Well, like I said, my first season that was a really good story because when we went training, there was a lot, you know, a lot of people turned up, so we had an abundance of players. So they split it into 2 different teams, the Bandits and the Outlaws. And I mean, we were all good mates anyway. You know, well, it seemed there was a lot of camaraderie. And technically, we should have both made the playoffs that year. But I think I'm not. It was a technicality, whatever. But the Outlaws made it that year, and playing some of those games, we had this little slogan: yes we can," or you know, something like that, and that just kept us going. And you
Yeah.
know, yes, we did in the end. You know, and then we made it to the national finals, and it's like, I mean, I remember playing against the London Mets, and it's the first time I ever looked at any other team's stats, you know, and I saw that
Yeah.
there was like 3 players that had hit home runs, And I'm like, oh no, we're gonna get battered across but no, we held our own, and we didn't. We had one player on our team that had hit a home run all season, only one. Yeah, and and we beat them. It's unfortunate that they were called the Mets because, like, I would have liked, Mets and everything, but yeah, they had to go. And
Yeah.
then the semi-final, we were kind of sort of well, that was quite a good game too. We went down to the wire. It was the bottom of the ninth, and we got our outfielder to come in and pitch. He'd never pitched before. The
Yeah.
same guy that home run, and he pitched, and he pitched two balls, right, and then he struck him out, and for the final out, and that was it. Absolute scenes. And then we made it to the final, and yeah, played against Long Eaton and gave him a good game. You know, fair while, and then all of a sudden they broke loose, and that was it.
Yeah. Tell me about your rookie season. You said before you got the rookie of the year. What sort of campaign did you have to have been voted such a prestigious thing?
Um, as I said, the first 4 innings of the season I didn't play, and then the rest of the every other innings I didn't. I think I may have missed one game the
Hmm.
whole season. And I was in the starting lineup every time, and I had a run of 9 hits in a row.
Oh,
There
wow.
was me and that one fella that hit the home run. He had 10 hits in a row, and I had 9 hits in a row. So
Hmm.
it was really good. We were just keeping each other going. Um, what else was there? I mean, I didn't make any spectacular catches. If my team will know what I'm talking about. Um, in the outfield, but it was just like straight up standard catches, and yeah, but yeah, it was just like it was really good, and we just had such a good spirit, and a good way, a good way of working together, and getting each other up, and because obviously not you can't be up every single game every single time, and it was
Yeah.
just like yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I was just happy to be out there at
Yeah.
50 odd. I was happy to be considered, so I was like, yeah, this will do me. So
So
yeah,
what were you doing that made you undroppable? Because if there's other people there that are competing for places and spots in the team, and you got rookie of the year and you got your 9 hitting streak. Like,
um, I think without patting myself on the back too much, I learned a lot about the game, and I looked at situations, and I think, okay, this is what needs to be done.
hmm.
Now, my team now call it the Blackwood bunt when it's up here, and I'm trying to knock it down. But no, I was actually bunting. My very first hit was a bunt, and I bunted them over from second to third
Yeah.
and first to second. So and when I got back after that innings, the coach says to me, he says, "Who told you to do that?" And I was like, "Well, no one." He said, "Well, why did you do that?" I says, "Well, we needed to move everybody, and I wasn't sure if I was, going to get myself there, but I know you guys could move." And he's like, "Well, it was a heads-up play." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll have that," you know. So yeah, and then we got I think we got 2 runs out of that innings as well. So it helped work.
That's really cool. I like
Yeah.
to ask as well, like, to whenever I'm talking to people, especially like when I went to the London Stadium and I was going around trying to promote British baseball to people, and I always hear from others, oh, I'm too old to play. And I say, well, why don't you consider volunteering in other capacities? Like, look at umpiring, look at just what you can do to help out your club. Now, I know you're not an exception to the rule because there are some older players within the league. But for those that are thinking, I can't try baseball for the first time because I'm in my 50s or I'm in my 40s. I mean, I was 39, I think, and even I thought I was out of my depth. What would you say to people that are using their age as an excuse to not give baseball a go, or at least attend a training session?
I would say first of all, know your body. right? Because I played sports pretty much all my life, like you were saying. I played football predominantly, and I know when this niggle it could lead to something else or this, So know your body first of all, and then give it a chance. If it doesn't feel right, you'll know. You know, your body will tell you. If it's just aches and pains from just doing something that you haven't done for a while, and you go back and you do it again, and then it eases and it eases, then you're going to be fine.
Mm.
But if it gets worse and worse, then you just like say, okay, no, my body's telling me I can't do it. But give it a chance. I mean, you never know how much you're going to enjoy it. I mean, you don't have to be diving around well, like me, I suppose, or some like spring chicken, you know. Um, but you don't need to be doing that. You know, it's about getting yourself in a position. If you get yourself in a good position and you've got a good technique, or you can work on it, then yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't be out there. Just trying to and just enjoying it. You know. So I mean, you watch the baseball games that come on TV, and you see them after a play, and they're smiling and they're laughing and they're high fiving each other. There's nothing better than that when you're out there and you've had part of that. You've been part of that. It's like scoring a goal in it. And you've made that key assist.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. It makes you feel, yeah, yeah, nice one. I'm glad you finished that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're there for each other.
That's cool.
So it's nice. It's a team thing.
Hmm. With your involvement in baseball at the different levels in the West Midlands Baseball League, what's some of the funniest things that you've seen within British baseball?
Well, one of the funniest things I saw was this one guy that we used to play with, and he's the one that started the yes we can. Right. Well, he used to turn up with a different hat, and we went to the semi-finals, and we went out to dinner. Here's him with his hat on, right, and it had a fan on it. So, just silly little things like that, that just kept everybody,
Mm.
kind of motivated and upbeat and ready to go again, and then they brought the music along and stuff like that, and it was like, yeah. So that was that funny, the hat, and this season, no, or was it last season? Well, both this season and last season, I've seen people coming to home plate, kind of sort of head first. So they trying to avoid a tag or whatever, or just run out of steam or whatever. But they're just like bundled
Yeah.
over home plate, scored. So that makes it better. But bundled over, and that's kind of sort of funny.
Brilliant. There's a great question that was asked by GB national team manager Drew Spencer not too long ago. I thought it may have been quite a while ago now, considering how long this podcast has been going for. But he used to ask, what has baseball given you and what are you grateful to the game for? I want to ask you this as well because seeing you talk about these baseball memories and a smile on your face,
Yeah,
it's
well,
got to be,
that's what it's given. It's given exuberance. Um, and I don't want to say exuberance of youth because, like, it doesn't make me feel any younger because I don't try and do things that 30-year-olds can do. I know I can't, right? But being out there makes me feel it does, man. I suppose, yeah, exuberance of youth a little bit, plus that camaraderie as well. Like I say, I mean, every team I've been on, you know, I don't think there's anybody that I can say, you know what, I didn't enjoy playing with that fella.
mm,
Yes, and that you can go through a whole team and you can say, well, that one's crabby and that one, you know, but on the whole, you sit down and you talk to each other and you see it's like, yeah, now we're here for each other, and it's really nice that camaraderie. I mean, I suppose having been in the service as well, when you see that kind of thing in sports as well, you think, yeah, you know what, they'd do that for me and I'd
yeah,
do that. You know what I mean? You
mm,
go that for each other, and it's really good. So, and then like I said, it keeps me wanting to come back. Yeah, I just love it.
Brilliant. Now, I've got a lot of questions I want to ask,
Mhm.
but I did throw the door open to listening public to say,
Okay.
and listeners' questions, and I got quite a few replies. So Gareth Thomas has
Mhm.
asked,
Yeah, I know who he is.
yeah, he would love to know your favorite baseball card that other people might not appreciate. So not one of the obvious ones, but a deep cut.
Okay. Well, there's kind of sort of three.
Hmm.
Let's start with Michael Jordan.
Ooh,
I got his rookie card when he was with the White Sox.
oh really?
Yeah. Um,
Wow.
he put out a couple, but yeah, I got his upper deck one. Um, and I think I got a couple anyway. So Michael Jordan's rookie card. I don't know if you know Tom Selleck. Have you heard of
I know
Magnum
Tom
PI?
Selleck. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm 43, mate. I know Tom Selleck.
yeah. Well, his baseball card, right?
I never
He
knew
was
he
dressed,
played baseball. So it
he
looks like I
dressed up
don't
as
know
a
Tom Selleck that well.
he dressed up as a Yankee. He did, I don't think he played, but he had a rookie card,
Yeah,
and he was dressed up in Yankee pinstripes. And the other one was Danny Ainge. If you know basketball, you know who I'm talking about. He's a bit of a bulldog for the Celtics,
yeah, yeah.
but he started his career in basketball, baseball, sorry. And yeah, and I think those three cards, uh, different cards, because like if you've seen Danny Ainge play basketball, and then I never saw him play baseball, but I know he had a rookie card, and I've seen that one. Had that one, and I've watched Michael Jordan play, but he really only played. He didn't go any further than AAA. He might have played one game, two games in the majors, but he didn't really make it to the big show.
No,
So, and Tom Selleck, he was just like I think that was just like a novelty card.
yeah. I do like a novelty card. I have here, which was generously given to me as a present. Heard of Heavy J? Heavy J Studios?
Oh, Doc!
Yeah, that is. He makes custom baseball cards.
Oh,
And it
wow!
was Lou Olson from Hollow Very Good Podcast got me this for my 100th show. And it
Oh,
says on the
wow!
back, it's a one of one. Congratulations on your 100th episode. And I've got my binder here, and I've got split out into like cards that people have got me some really nice custom ones, like these ones here.
And how are you
Um,
protecting it?
just in the usual um
Little plastic sleeve? Oh, no,
plastic
no, no, no,
sleeves.
no, no, no.
No?
You need to no, because you'll damage the corners with that. What you need to
Okay.
do is you need to get it's a little thin plastic sleeve, and
Yeah,
then
I've
you
got
get
loads
like
of them.
you get a bullet,
Hmm.
and screw it together like
Okay.
two pieces of perspex, and well, obviously they'll protect it a lot better and keep it flat as well, keep it in
Yeah.
mint condition. But you can damage the corners in with using those.
Oh no.
So,
Uh, I have a section as well dedicated to British baseball players. So like
all right,
Jazz, Tom Waddle, Josh Chetwynd, got some of his cards.
Josh,
Bobby Thompson.
is
Yeah.
he Canadian though? Josh Chetwynd,
Yeah.
because he used to do the Channel 5
Yeah. Yeah.
broadcasts with what's his name,
Johnny Gould.
yeah, but there was Jonathan Pierce as well, because I
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
Channel 5 on a Sunday, early Sunday Monday morning. Yeah, I used to watch it when I first came back from America. Yeah,
And
and
my
then
fa
go on.
yeah, sorry, that was a bit rude of me. But my favorite ones are the Springfield Isotopes.
Okay.
And they've even got like other player profiles in the
All
back as
right,
well.
yeah, 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 like the top
Yeah.
specs.
How many baseball cards do you think you got?
Uh, if I was to count the cards, thousands,
Hmm.
thousands and thousands. Um, no, I couldn't really count them. And then, like I said, I had to get rid of some. There were, like commons, just like
Yeah, yeah.
bog standard players, and then you've got the players that stood out. Get like 15 home runs a season, whatever. So they're on the cusp. Then you've got the 30 home runs, all the good pitches, whatever. And you just keep them and you just like categorized them, and that's how it was. And then obviously you got the ones that are going to the Hall of Fame, so you kept them separate.
Yeah.
Your Mike Piatas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had thousands. I started collecting from when I was in 1991. Used to get boxes, complete boxes of cards, and try and make sets. And then you're searching for that, that special card in the pack. So it's like, yeah, you go mad as a collector.
Yeah. And what is the best way to organize a baseball card collection or any sort of trading card collection? Because mine's not just like for baseball cards. I've got hockey ones, American football ones. I've even got like X-Files and Jurassic Park ones from when I was a kid as well, and some of the old Sega Mega Drive ones, like just random trading cards.
Best way to do it. If you don't care about having those extras, then just try and get complete sets, and then you can list them as complete sets. But if you want individual ones, then you can do them by teams if you want to. But because my set was so massive, I didn't just collect one set of cards. I collected Upper Deck, Fleer, Tops, you name it. I collected it, and then they started putting out the premium cards. I didn't get complete sets of those, but I got a few cards of those, to try and get those elite players. But yeah, I don't know. Just I would take your time with it as well, because well, there's lots of different ways to do it. You could go by your most popular first, and then go through and then go down to your least popular. You could group them. I don't know. It's difficult to say without seeing the set.
What are your favorite types of card? I like asking the card collectors this because I like cards that don't have borders on them. They just look like photographs. I'm not anti borders or nothing like that, but I really like the Stadium Club ones, like and it's Bo Bichette one. I really like the fonts and the print of them.
Is that Fleer Ultra?
It's a Stadium Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Fleer was one of the first ones to do it like that. Yeah. I don't mind even with the border because, like, believe it or not, if it's a certain player and there's an error on the border, that could make that card worth more, because it's got an error. Yeah. But yeah, I like them both. I think the glossier ones are better because I don't know. I guess they're stronger and they're less prone to get damaged.
Yeah, my all-time favorite cards were the Flair 96. I've got loads of the basketball ones as well. Nice cardboard feel. Again, the font's nicely printed in there in gold.
Yeah,
They're just a great looking card. They feel great in your hand. Just want to run your finger over the engraving loads.
Boston,
If anyone's watching this on YouTube, you can see it. I'm just wafting random baseball cards that I love in front of Ron on the camera. But I've got quite a lot of those. I think the Flair 96 is, I think they may have gone back to like 94, 95 as well. They're in a certain style, maybe 97.
Think
Beautiful ones.
Fleer Ultra, that I think they came out like 91, 92.
No,
when they came out, that's when I think everybody else started thinking, oh, you know what, let's move on, in that direction. Because, like you say, prior to that, all the cards had borders.
I really do think I could talk to you about baseball cards all night, but I think that's for another podcast. And if you wanted to do that, I can point in the direction of some chaps that would definitely have like to have a word with you in TN Tops. So yeah, I might even pass your details on to Jason. I bet he'd love to have a chat about baseball cards with you.
Fine by me.
Gareth also asked, how much longer do you think you can play if you didn't always hit the deck to make a catch?
And that's what I was talking. You know,
Yeah.
that's what made me laugh. You know, and I says I wasn't when I was in the
Yeah.
outfield. I wasn't diving around, but because I've been playing second base, and it seems to be like you know I'll make a spectacular catch, but I'll have to be on the floor somewhere. I'll have to have ended up on the floor. So but no, I think that this is my last season. I think I've got to be true to myself, and because I've got Achilles problems. I think I've
Mm.
just had an MRI scan. Well, scans last weekend, and I've got to see my specialist next Monday to find out what the prognosis is. But I don't think it looks too great. If you
Okay.
see me walking around, you'll know that oh God, it's not good.
What a
Yeah,
shame. Well,
it
that
is a
sort of
shame.
leads into the next question. He also says, Ronnie Baseball, you're a legend.
Thank you.
Michael O'Fionnigan
Yeah.
says, is Ron Blackwood going to take up a coaching staff role next season?
Um, I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no at the moment because like oh God, I need to see what needs to be done. But I think most likely it'll be more umpiring than coaching
Hmm.
because of the commitment side of the house. I don't want to say well I want to do this and not be able to commit, you know, because that's not me.
Yeah.
But if I'm umpiring, I'm not the sole dependent. You know, they don't just need me. You know, there'll be others available.
That's cool. It'd be a shame to lose such a character from the game. I do hope you manage to find a way to sustain it, even if it's like helping Saeed out with the youth coaching or something on those lines. Need to
Yeah.
need to keep you in there somehow. Leon Boyne has asked,
Hey, Leon,
yeah, do you remember how you felt as a young Mets baseball fan in 1962 when the Mets formed?
do I remember? Leon, I wasn't born till the next year, but no need for that. But no, no. Hey, I'd have loved to have been there in the inaugural year,
Mm.
but I
He
was there in
also,
61. Go on.
yeah, he also says, alternatively, tell us about your journey as an umpire in the West Midlands Baseball League.
Um, well, I don't think anybody liked my zone to begin with because like my zone is very tiny, you know, but it was consistent.
Hmm.
And my zones, I think, are pretty consistent. You know, I'm hoping they are anyway. And it's tough because nobody likes an umpire when you're playing. No pitcher likes an umpire if you don't give their call.
Yeah,
No player likes an umpire if you don't give their call. So you are for that game a monster. But you know what? I know that nobody means anything personal when they make any remarks or anything like that. Um, yeah, and I should hope that everybody just thinks about respect. You know,
yeah,
when not just me, but when umpires are doing the best that they can.
yeah. You're only human after
Yeah.
all. And
Yeah.
smaller strike zones makes you a better picture, get more accurate.
Well, no, I didn't see many walks going through. So well, yeah.
There you go. And the last one is from lovely Saeed Bayan. Does he think he'll see the Mets win another World Series in his lifetime? And why is the answer no?
That's coming from a Giants fan, but I do believe we've got one more left in. Well, maybe even two. We've just got to start the ball rolling. Get one, you can get two, you can get three. You know, get that first one first. And I
I think
think, yeah, I'm young enough. We're going to see it again.
I think you'd like to know when as well. When do you think it'll
When?
happen?
I say within the next 5 years.
There you go,
Definitely
book
within the
it,
next 5 years.
get in there. Ron, this has been everything I was hoping it would be. Fantastic conversation with fantastic dude.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, all good things come to an end. And
And we've come to the end of the road.
see, now if I knew you were going to do that, I'd have had you sing the intro. You can't, like, with like 30 seconds left of recording time to go and you break out the soulful
Oh.
singing.
No, man. It's what I do. You know, it just keeps me happy.
Good man. It's tradition on the show for the guests to have the last word. So any shout outs or anything you want to say in parting?
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody. Well, I suppose I've got to say thank you to James Moran first of all, because he was the one that got me into baseball in England, right? And I want to say thank you to everybody else that embraced me and you know, and helped me to learn as much as I learned, and you know, and everybody that I've tried to assist along the way, and you know, and anybody that wants to play baseball, that's been playing baseball, you know, that has played baseball, thank you, and keep it going. You know, it's a great sport to be in.
It is indeed. Ron, lovely to chat to you. It's been great. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Take care,
And
champ.
thanks for your questions, guys. All right.
No, yeah. Thank you to everyone that did submit questions. They were brilliant. Thank you very much. All right, dude. Take care now.
Thank you. Bye bye.